All right, everybody, we're going to get started. Good morning, class of 2026. Give yourself some love, all right? Morning. Yeah, believe it or not, everybody, in just 6 months, you all will be alumni of Evanston Township High School. Give yourself a round of applause. And you are going to be joining, and 6 months is going to go by fast, everybody. You're going to be joining about 66,000 alums doing incredible things all over the world, and it doesn't matter what you do after ETHS, you're going to always be a Wildcat. And so this morning, we want to share just a few narratives and stories of some alums who've left ETHS and have done incredible things. They have sat in your seat, we are going to recognize just a few this morning, quite a few this morning, with our distinguished alumni. But without any further ado, I am going to invite Ms. Nicole Boyd, who is our new Director of Alumni Relations, to come to the stage and welcome you all to this program. Good morning, seniors.
Good morning once again, class of 2026. You would think that Dr. Campbell and I had rehearsed together because some of the things he said are exactly what I'm about to say to you. So again, I am Miss Boyd. Some of you know me as the former Dean Boyd or as Ryan's mom. Yes, I am Ryan's mom. Woo-woo. That is my claim to fame. Okay, don't tease him. Be nice to my baby. But I'm also a very proud third-generation Wildcat who graduated almost 30 years ago, next year, in the class of 1996. So currently I'm the Director of Alumni Relations here, and I wanted to be the first. It is written this way, but now I'm the second. I am the second to say that you all graduate 6 months from today. 6 months from today is your graduation day. And that's super exciting. So once you cross the stage, you immediately become welcomed into the world of Wildcat alumni. As Dr. Campbell said, there are 60,000 living alumni across the globe. A few of them are here today to share their extraordinary accomplishments with you. I would like to welcome you to the Distinguished Alumni Assembly, where we bring back amazing Wildcats to show you just how far an ETHS student can go. You've already explored possibilities during the Wildcat Futures Day just a few weeks ago, and today is your chance to see those futures and possibilities in real life. These alumni once sat where you're sitting in this very auditorium, right where you are now. Maybe tired, maybe hungry, maybe wondering what period or what block it is. But they went on to become leaders, creators, problem solvers, and community changers. And their stories are proof that you can be anything you want to be. My goal for you today is for each one of you to leave here inspired. I want you to hear it and hear it and hear it and hear it again. You all, with your ETHS, your Evanston, Skevinston, Skokie Foundation, can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. ETHS has set you up to be successful. If you find that you're struggling a little bit, second semester, turn it around. But everyone in this room, each of you have the opportunity to be in this video. Each of you have the opportunity to be on the stage and be recognized for your accomplishments, for your passions, for your contributions that you're going to make in the future. Again, as you listen today, I hope you leave completely inspired, thinking about your future, your potential, your possibilities, and the path ahead of you. Again, who knows? One of you could be sitting up here and we're talking and bragging about you. I heard a lot of chatter during that video, but I heard a lot of good chatter. I heard a lot of, oh, really? What? Yes, an ETHS grad, open crate and barrel. Yes, you all can do anything you want to do. You can be anyone you want to be. You got to keep dreaming and keep putting in the work. And anything here, some of y'all have been to concerts at the Salt Shed because I've heard about them. Yes, that was an ETHS alum. If you want to go into law enforcement, if you want to be a sports agent, you can do it all. Please hear that over and over and over again today. You can do it, you can be it, just put in the work. So now, after having seen that, those wonderful, inspiring alum, we're going to switch gears just a little bit. And we're going to celebrate and honor and recognize 5 additional alums who are being inducted to our 2025 class of the Distinguished Alumni on this evening. So first, to tell you a little bit about what the Distinguished Alumni Award is Patrick Kearney.
All right, so this is just a little bit about the award, the Distinguished Alumni Award. So for more than 140 years, ETHS has built a strong reputation for great academics, amazing teachers, and a supportive community. A big part of that reputation comes from our alumni, former students who have gone on to do incredible things. The Distinguished Alumni Award was created to honor those graduates and to inspire current students by showing what wild kids can achieve. The award begins in 2003 and recognizes alumni who left ETHS at least 10 years ago and have made a positive impact through their work, service, or leadership. Today, we celebrate the achievements of our outstanding alumni and the legacy they continue to build. So, to present the first recipient of the award is Cassidy Capone Cruz.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cassidy Capone, and it is a true honor to stand before you and speak about Dr. Carl Minch, a man whose life embodied curiosity, compassion, and dedication in every sense of the word. Dr. Minch was more than a renowned professor and medical researcher. He was a mentor, a friend, and an inspiration to generations of students, many of whom went on to become physicians guided by the same sense of wonder and care that he modeled so naturally. His groundbreaking work included his pioneering contributions to understanding and developing the cure to chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which quite literally saved lives. Yet when asked about his proudest accomplishments, Carl would always return to his students, his family, and his faith. For over 50 years, he was an active and deeply loved member of Phi Mount Congregational Church, where he served faithfully as a trustee to friends and many. Beyond his professional brilliance, Carl found joy in simple pleasures: an afternoon out on his boat with family and friends, a good opera, and exploring the long branches of his family tree, which traced back for generations. Even as a young man at Evanston Township High School, Carl stood out as a leader, scholar, and example of integrity, qualities that would follow him through Princeton, Washington University, and a lifetime devoted to medicine. He never stopped learning, teaching, or caring for his students. His students remember his warmth, his humor, and that they each were possible of making a unique difference. Dr. Minch lived fully, loved deeply, and left great marks on science and on every heart he touched. Today we honor his extraordinary life. We celebrate not only what he achieved, but who he was, a brilliant mind with a boundless heart. Thank you. Hold on, guys. Now to present the next award is Eve Daniels.
Good morning. Recently, I had the honor of speaking with Vice Admiral Seikio Okano, a proud 1990 graduate of this high school. During her time here, she was a member of the girls' swim and dive team. In 1989, she was a co-captain of the team as a junior, helping lead what would become a Hall of Fame team through a historic season that ended with a third-place finish at state. 35 years later, Vice Admiral Okano remains in touch and close friends with many of those teammates. They continue to praise her leadership, work ethic, and her ability to bring people together, qualities that were evident even in high school. She credits Coach Fargo and Coach Richardson for shaping her both as an athlete and as a person. To her, they weren't just coaches, they were family. Her performance as a swimmer in high school led her to be recruited to the U.S. Naval Academy, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. Drawn by the Academy's role in the space program, she pursued her childhood dream of becoming an astronaut, although her career ultimately took her on a different path. Following her graduation from the Naval Academy, she earned a Master's in Space Systems Engineering from the Naval Postgraduate School. While in the Naval Academy, Vice Admiral O'Connell was a member of the women's lacrosse club team, where some of her fondest college memories are from. Her lacrosse stick from college still resides in her office at the Pentagon. Her operational tours include serving as gunnery and fire control officer and electrical division officer aboard the USS Belleau Wood, and later as amphibious force 7 Fleet Flag Aide in Okinawa, Japan. She also served in Tikrit during Operation Iraqi Freedom, helping counter radio-controlled improvised explosive devices. As an engineering duty officer, she served as a program manager for above-water sensors and the program executive officer for integrated warfare systems before commanding the Naval Warfare Information Systems. Most recently in August, Vice Admiral O'Connell was appointed Chief Military Deputy to the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition, making her the Navy's top acquisition official. She is the first woman to achieve this rank. It takes exceptional performance and leadership to achieve Vice Admiral status in the United States Navy. It is an extremely selective process. Every day, the Vice Admiral dedicates herself to our nation and makes our high school proud. In my conversation with her, it was clear that she is proud to be a Wildcat and carries the memories and lessons she has learned from her teachers, peers, and community with her. She embodies the spirit of leadership, integrity, and service that define ETHS. Regrettably, she was unable to make it today. However, she recorded a video for us.
Hi Wildcats, I'm Vice Admiral Seiko Okano, and it is an absolute honor to be named a Distinguished Alumni. When I was here at ETHS, I wasn't exactly planning on becoming an Admiral. I was just trying to get through homework, keep my grades up, get through swim practice, figure out what came next, like most of you. But looking back, ETHS is where I learned how to think, how to handle challenges, how to work with people who don't always agree with you, and how to lead without having all the answers. The teachers and coaches here pushed me hard. They didn't let me coast, and that mattered more than I realized at the time. And the people here, classmates, teammates, friends, they opened my eyes to a wider world that still helps me lead today. So here's my take. Don't rush through this. Use this time to get curious. Learn to work with people who think differently. That's a skill you'll take you further than almost anything else. Thank you, ETHS, for giving me the foundation to lead and serve. And to the next generation of Wildcats, keep going. You're building something bigger than you know.
Now to present the next award, Ella and Hannah Roani.
Stop. Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to stand here today and celebrate the life, legacy, and light of Mary Wilkerson, a woman whose heart touched this community in ways words can barely hold. When people speak of Miss Wilkerson, they think of an activist, a leader, and a mother, not just in the literal sense. She mothered everyone she met. She was a mentor, a guide, a protector, a nurturer, and a source of strength. She was funny, no nonsense, and believed deeply in one truth: whatever you do, bring your best. Miss Wilkerson grew up in Evanston's 5th Ward after moving from Georgia. Learning in an integrated community opened her heart in a way that never closed. She learned that good people are good people, no matter what they look like, and that being your authentic self can bring out the best in others. Her years at ETHS helped shape who she became. It was a place where belonging mattered, and she carried that sense of togetherness into everything she did, believing community could change lives. That belief led her to help lead the Evanston NAACP Youth Council to the March on Washington in 1963, where she heard Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, a moment that fueled her lifelong commitment to justice. Mary earned her MBA from the University of Chicago and spent over 40 years at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in fair housing and equal opportunity. She empowered families to gain access to housing, dignity, and opportunity. For Mary, her work was a calling. She loved to say, if you give someone a fish, they eat for a day. If you teach them to fish, they can eat for a lifetime. She believed real change begins when people find their own strength. Her leadership touched every corner of Evanston. She served over a decade on the ETHS District 202 School Board, founded the African American Youth Achievement Awards, and poured her heart into organizations like Family Focus, YOU, and the Youth Job Center. Everywhere she went, she helped young people believe their dreams were possible. And if she could speak to ETHS students today, she'd say, there's no time like the present. Don't sit on the sidelines, be loud, be active, and stand up for what matters. Mary Wilkerson was more than a leader. She was light, proof that one person's courage can lift an entire community. Today, as we remember her, may we feel her warmth and carry it forward with compassion, conviction, and love. Thank you. To present the next recipient, Ryan Boyd.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we honor someone whose journey is a powerful reminder of what resilience, love, and the Evanston community can do. Growing up, life wasn't easy for Sergeant Wilson. Her family went through a lot, especially with her parents who dealt with addiction. But through it all, Evanston and ETHS became her peace during the struggles. It was a place of friendship, fun, and family. It was sports, spirit, and the sense of belonging that made it all so much better. Tasha remembers the cold football games, the excitement of basketball nights, the orange and blue pride, and yes, the rivalry with ETHS's biggest opponents like New Trier. She enjoyed her sign language class, which would later help her in police work, bridging communication and understanding with those in needs. At ETHS, Ms. Wilson did it all. As a fifth-generation Evanstonian student and as a student of the graduating class of 1996, she was an active football manager for all 4 of her years, a basketball player, a softball player, and a member of the National Honor Society. Teachers like Mr. Bacon left a lasting impact on her experience at ETHS, and so did unforgettable moments like being on JV as a freshman and winning sectionals her sophomore year with Pollyanna Johns, an Evanston alumni who went on to the WNBA. After graduating in 1996, Ms. Wilson attended Illinois State University, majoring in communications and journalism with dreams of being on ESPN, stemming from a lifelong love of fandom for the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Bulls, and Sky, while minoring also in sociology. But life took her in a new direction. Though she never planned to become a police officer, she found her calling, knowing that serving her community and supporting her family came first. Speaking of first, Sergeant Wilson became the first black Evanstonian female police officer at the Evanston Police Department to be promoted to sergeant. For over 20 years, she has dedicated her time and talents to public service and public safety in her beloved hometown. Evanston to Sergeant Wilson isn't just a hometown. It's a heartbeat. It's where everyone knows everyone, where people look out for each other, where safety and connection matter, and she continues to give back to the community today, from volunteering at the Black Student Summits, to mentoring students, to working games, coaching fan basketball, and teaching players and students to stay united as they enter high school. Through her business, the Ox and the Laundry Cafe, and by helping raise over $100,000 to boost black-owned businesses, she's created a safe environment for people to connect, chat, and stay positive through rough times. When I asked Tasha what she wanted to be remembered for, she simply replied, for being a good person, not for clout or fame, but for kindness, because what you give to people, you get back in return. That's who Tasha Wilson is, a person who turned challenges into purpose, someone who persevered through it all, someone who carries Evanston's heart wherever she goes, and who shows us what it means to give, lead, and love deeply. From being a fifth-generation Evanstonian to becoming the first female black sergeant of the Evanston Police Force. The lessons she has been taught by her introverted mother and her extroverted father along the way have made a very long and lasting impact on the woman she has become today. Congratulations, Sergeant Wilson, on this well-deserved honor, the Distinguished Alumni Award.
Now, Ms. Boyd is going to get on me because I don't write speeches. I don't have time for it. So, first I want to say thank you to the class of 2026, ETHS Alumni Relations. And 6 months from today will be 30 years since we graduated, so it goes fast. So this video, which is crazy, whoever made it is dope, but it is a privilege to be a WOW kid. You will not understand it until you leave. Because Evanston created a bubble for us, and when you walk out, you realize the bubble is real. I went to Illinois State. I applied for 2 colleges. I applied to Michigan, and I applied to Illinois State University. I was only accepted to Illinois State, and when I got there, I felt like I was the smartest person in the room. And I didn't even work hard here. I mean, I was an A and B student, National Honor Society, but I did not work hard. I just used common sense. And I went to that school, people didn't know how to use computers. They didn't know how to cite research papers. And I'm like, bro, is this college or what? But I promise you, you are set up in ways you have no clue. So if you are wasting your opportunity, I would suggest you pick up the pieces ASAP. Secondly, I want to say that ETHS saved my life. I am a sergeant with the Evanston Police Department. I had no intention of being the police, but I'm very happy that I became the police in my hometown with my people. When people see my face, they know, hey, I've had people open my squad car door and get in, like I'm going with Tosh. I'll go to jail, but I'm only going with Tosh. So that was something that I appreciated and respected. But when I say it saved my life, I got into a fight with my mother one early morning, and I lived right across the street from Mason Park. So if you go to Mason and you're hooping on one of the courts, if you look across, the blue house in the middle of the block is where I grew up. And I had a lot of fights there. But to be fair, I had a great life. But I had young parents who chose drugs along the way. And one morning, one of my parents came home, and they wanted $20 back from me that they had given me the night before, because they weren't done getting high. And I owed $20 to a friend named Amy, because we used to wear colored contacts back in '96, and I owed her $20 for these bogus contacts. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna give Amy her money. And one of my parents is like, no, I need that 20 back, and I need it now. We had a fist fight, and it's probably 7:30 in the morning. I have on a Charles Barkley jersey. I have some Nike shorts on. And I remember after the fight, my jersey was ripped. I walked into the school, I didn't realize my knuckles were bleeding, and it was basketball tryouts that day. So you saw the chief of police in the video. That is my boss. She's also someone who protected me at Illinois State University, because no matter where you go, there's a wild kid there, I promise you. It is a crazy fraternity, I promise you. But that day I went to basketball tryouts, and I remember the coach saying, you coming in here and you real lax today. You being real lazy today. And so I picked up the pieces, but my friends that day walked me to every single class. They told the teachers, you need to watch her. I don't think she's having a good day. When I didn't have a winter coat, the people who are sitting next to you, they picked up the pieces for me. When it was time for me to go to college, one of my friends from ETHS, her mom had $5,000 ready for me for books and room and board. When I bought my house, there was a $10,000 check saying, hey, you know, I adopted 2 of my sisters because of crack cocaine addictions. I raised them from the time they were 5 and 11 months old. They're now 29 and 24. But when they saw that I was trying, that I was pushing, every single Evanston person stood up for me and made a path. So my path now is I'm a sergeant. I got 28 more months to go, but I'm not counting. But on the other side of town, behind Sam's Club, it's called the Ox. It's a $10 million project that for the last 5 years I've been raising money. I've gotten up to $8 million with 2 of my partners. And right now, we have 10 Black-owned, female-owned businesses, and 90% of them are Wild Kids inside that building. We support each other, we pick each other up, and I promise you, if you come over to the Aux Hangout, some of you went for the Black Summit, some of you were at the Laundry Cafe, that's the business that I own, but we've worked hard to maintain our space in Evanston. The Black community, unfortunately, we're losing a lot of our homes. Crack cocaine in the 90s did a huge number on us, so a lot of us live far away and still come here and put our time and effort into you. You'll see me at the basketball games, you'll see me at the football games. Some of you play FAM. I coached the Liberty. I got cheated last season, but that's a different story. But I want you to always remember something. You always belong in whatever room you show up in. If you feel like you don't belong in a room, that means you are lacking the confidence that was instilled in you, and you need to pick up the pieces and get it together. I remember Derrick Rose. Anybody know who Derrick Rose is? All right, Pooh. So I remember one time he said, "I don't belong here." And I hate that saying, "I don't belong here," you know, because my mom or my father had crack addictions or whatever. My parents were dope. They just made poor decisions. But never, if you open your mouth to say, "I don't belong here," fix your attitude. So I want to read something from Derrick Rose. And this is a quote, so bear with it. "I knew at a young age my living condition was effed up. I could tell my mom wasn't happy. She wasn't getting her paycheck and putting the money out on the table. She only got $20 to $50 for the next 2 weeks. After she paid all her rent and bills with 4 kids, I knew I had to change something. I was shoveling snow to play basketball outside by myself. I'm out there in the rain. I didn't care. If you want to be regular, just make a sacrifice. A great sacrifice is locking in, and everybody is looking at you like you're crazy. You gotta fight. That's life. Even when you get money, you still gotta fight. I'm still fighting right now. I'm fighting for knowledge. The fight's never over. Learn all you can. Do what you can for people. And to end this, none of you in here know who you are. I promise you, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. But whoever you find, and when you find yourself, make sure it's the person in you that's kind, because what you give is what you get. Y'all gotta have a good day.
All right, so the dictionary defines the word rabbi as a Jewish scholar or teacher, especially one who studies or teaches Jewish law. Why not? Okay, I'm good. This definition definitely does apply to Rabbi Dr. Gary Zola, but I would argue that it does not encapsulate fully what his rabbiship has meant. In talking with him, Rabbi Zola shared with me that being a rabbi to him is an opportunity to help improve the world. And I think this statement does Rabbi Dr. Gary Zola and his contributions to the world more justice. It is an honor to introduce Rabbi Dr. Gary Zola, a 1970 graduate of ETHS who has made profound personal and professional contributions to his community, both in Evanston and abroad. Rabbi Zola has served over 4 decades at the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, where he became Executive Director Emeritus of the Jacob Rader Marcus Center of the American Jewish Archives. Under his leadership, the archives grew into the world's largest research center devoted to the American Jewish experience. During his time as a student here, Rabbi Dr. Zola was extremely involved in the school's musical field, participating in the school's symphony and marching band in which he played the glockenspiel. This is just one of many examples of how Rabbi Dr. Gary Zola was part of the multicultural community here at Evanston that directly influenced his life choices and path. Due to his intellectual and personal prowess, Zola has an illustrious resume that is jam-packed with awards and recognition. Ranging from his PhD in American Jewish history, numerous book publications, or his appointment from President Obama to serve as a member of the U.S. Commission for the Preservation of America's Heritage Abroad, it is safe to say that Rabbi Dr. Gary Zola has accomplished a lot. When asked what accomplishment of his he is proudest of, he highlighted his wife and children, as well as noting that he is simply proud to have attended ETHS, and that this honor, being deservedly recognized as one of Evanston's distinguished alumni, is especially touching to him, as it is a full circle moment. So without further ado, please welcome to the mic, Rabbi Dr. Gary Zola.
Well, good morning, class of 2026, Dr. Campbell, Ms. Boyd. 55 years ago, a few months before the ETHS class of 1970 celebrated graduation, my parents received a letter from Dr. Scott Thompson. He was the superintendent that year, informing them that they and I should plan to attend the school's senior awards ceremony that was scheduled to take place a few weeks later. That big day arrived, and the student honorees were seated together in the very front rows of this auditorium, and we were excitedly anticipating which award would be coming our way. Seated next to me was Roger Adelson, who would soon be receiving the Westinghouse Science Award, now called the Regeneron Award. The two of us were exchanging whispers and comments as the ceremony unfolded, and all of our classmates learned which award they had earned. At some point toward the middle of the program, an elderly Evanstonian dowager was called to the podium by Dr. Thompson. And the truth be told, that elderly dowager was probably younger than I am today. Dr. Thompson informed the assembly that this woman was the president of the local chapter of the DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution. Now, for those who are not familiar with the DAR, it is a patriotic, historical, and educational women's organization that was founded in 1890. And DAR members must be able to demonstrate that their lineage the DAR members must demonstrate that their lineage goes back to someone who contributed to the fight for American independence during the Revolutionary War. So the president of the DAR would present the Good Citizen Medal from the DAR to an ETHS senior who, according to the school's administration, was a good citizen, the outstanding good citizen. Now, friends, please bear in mind that this year was 1970, and that was a time when teenagers and college students, my peers, were not feeling patriotism. The Vietnam War protests, the civil rights marches, the counterculturalism, it all shaped the spiritus temporum, the spirit of that epoch. And most of my classmates viewed patriotic, military, flag-waving organizations, to put it mildly, with skepticism. So Roger leans over to me and whispers, "Who would want to get a medal from the DAR?" And I said, "Not I." How embarrassing it would be to receive a medal from the DAR. Of course, moments later, the president of the DAR proudly announced that Gary Zola was this year's good citizen. And without even looking back at Roger, I ran up to this podium and I accepted the honor. And before leaving my home in Cincinnati, I rummaged through my high school archives, and sure enough, there it was, and here it is, my DAR medal. So this morning, friends, I'm back at ETHS. I'm in the very same auditorium, at the very same podium, 55 years later, to receive another medal. And this time, it's not at the beginning of my career, it's towards the completion. And friends, there are no words, no matter how rouged or perfumed they may be, that can adequately express the depth of my gratitude for this kind recognition. Because it was, as everyone has said, here in these halls, in this school, that so many teachers and mentors instilled within me the educational, cultural, and communal aspirations that make for a good citizen. And this medal became, I suppose, a personal challenge, because all that I've done and all that I still yearn to accomplish is unquestionably a projection into the future of the high expectations placed on my shoulders as a mantle of challenge during my years here at Evanston High. So you seniors must surely sense this same challenge. And heaven knows that today, more than ever, our nation and our world desperately need good citizens in every walk of life, in every industry, in every vocation, in every profession. And it is my hope and my prayer that on this special morning, each one of you, armed with the learning this school has bestowed and coupled with the heaven-sent talents that make you who you are, will all become good citizens, dedicating yourselves to the daunting yet desperately needed challenge of repairing our broken world for yourselves, for your children, and for your children's children. Thank you so very much.
Another big congratulations to all of our recipients. Again, we will be celebrating more this evening. Okay, I just got the message that the bell just rang, so we will skip the questions. I'm so sorry. Can we have one more round of applause for our distinguished alumni? Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Thank you for being such an amazing audience. And you can do anything. You can become anything.